going to make egg drops too.
Okay. Alright. What you got for me?
Some stories about my time with the Rice's Delicatessen.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Mr. Rice, I remember, in my senior year in high school, I got a job there during the Christmas vacation with my friend Bobby Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
After Christmas, he liked Bobby better because Bobby never walked from customer to customer. He'd always run. So he thought he was more eager. Then, in my freshman year in college, I began to work for him every weekend. And a couple of funny stories. Number one, he gives me an order to deliver. I drove his car at the time. It was this was what? It was in the early 40s, I think. I'm trying to remember exactly. I graduated high school in 1939. So it was in the early 40s. I was going to college, my freshman year. So he gives me an order to deliver, and I delivered many orders for him. And I go to the address in Passaic, and I ring the doorbell. Someone says, "Who's there?" And I usually say, "Rice's Delicatessen." He says, "I didn't order anything from Rice. Go away." So I take the phone, I said, I gotta take the order back.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back to the store. And it's about a 3-mile drive, 3-4 miles. And I get there, and he starts to scream at me. "You didn't deliver the order." I said, "You gave me the wrong address." "I know, but you should." I said, "How the hell am I going to contact you? There's no intercom. I didn't have a telephone in the car. You weren't that."
Didn't have a cell phone.
His car, that is. And there's no way of communicating with him except to see him face to face. So I get disgusted, and I give him the order. I sit down with my coat on. It was winter time, and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I quit. I want you to pay me off." So he says, "Look, do me a favor. Deliver the order." He gave me the right address. I quit afterwards. So I delivered the order. I never quit. Except later
Did you tell him
on.
to go fuck off?
I was my freshman year in college, and I would study. I'd go in about 9 o'clock, so I'd get up about 7 o'clock, and I would study
Mm-hmm.
for college. I was a freshman. I was going to Newark College of Engineering. And this particular Sunday, I come in and he said, I said, Mr. Rice, I would like to come in a little later, about 12 o'clock. So he says, all right. So I come in at 12 o'clock. And he doesn't give me I worked, I would work Saturday and Sunday. He doesn't give me the $4 that he usually gives me. He gives me 3. I said, what's this? He said, well, you're only working half a day. I said, I'm working during the busy time. He said, but only a half a day, so that's all you get is $3 instead of 4. So, all right. So, I didn't argue anymore. So, I forget. Oh, then that's when I went back to school. I worked for him for a little time, and I started to think about it. And I said, Mr. Rice, I think you should, I worked during the busy hours, and I say, and I come in a little later, but what difference does that make? And he says, well, no, you only work three quarters of a day. I forget what brought this on now. Isn't that something? But anyhow, the school was over. So I came in late again. I didn't care. That was the arrangement. And I said, Mr. Rice, I think I should get $4. I'm here during the busy hours. So he says, what are you? You're not on wages. You're a salaried man. I said, so how come before I was on wages? I got paid for the time I worked, not for reporting for work. So I said, look, Mr. Rice, fuck you, I quit. Give me my $3. That was the end of my business with Mr. Rice.
Sounds like kind of a dick.
Yeah, except one time they asked me to come in, it was an emergency. But cute stories when I worked for him. This old man comes in, and he's wearing a suit, but it was very worn and a little dirty. And he sits down, and he says, how much did he have? Oh, he says, how much you charge me for the schlong from the tongue? So, no one ever ordered the schlong.
What's the schlong?
Yeah, at the end, they cut off and they throw away. So, I said, nothing. So he says, how much you charge me for 5 slices bread? No, how much bread do you give me for a nickel? I said, I'll give you 5 slices Okay. He says, bring me the spoon from the tub and bring me 5 slices of bread. So I say to the counterman, hey, I forget his name already. All right, hey Joe, have you got a spoon? He says, yeah, I'm just removing one. So I give him the spoon from the tub with 5 slices of bread. Then I write out a check for 5 cents, and I gave it to him. And poor man. Oh, that was one time. And the other time, Mr. Rice used to have me go when he got very busy on Saturday night. So he said he was running out of bread. So he sends me down to a bakery to pick up 2 sandwich loaves. I brought them back fresh, they're about this long. And I put them on the bread counter. A little while, maybe it was about a half hour later, I hear him screaming, who sliced up the breads? So his wife, she was a big, heavy woman. He was a skinny guy. She says, I did. He says, who told you should slice up the breads? Because he says, now they got stale. He should, he wanted to cut the bread off as he used it. So she says, you always slice up the breads. He says, not always. Anyhow, the breads are no good anymore. So he throws them on the floor. And he says, he says, Mort, she calls him a skinny belink. He calls her a fat hog, a fat broad. And he says to me, pick up the breads and put them in the kitchen. And she used them later on.
She used them?
Yeah. So I had to go out and get two more breads for him. And one day I'm driving the car on an order, and this character, I'm crossing the street, and this character hits me in the side. So I come back and I think he's going to yell at me. I said the guy hit me in the side of the car. So she only was worried about the car. He says to her, as long as he didn't get killed, what are you talking? And I told him to go fuck himself when I quit. And he called my father on the telephone and told him I said that. And my father made me go back. And at this time he was sick. So I had to go to his house, go to his room and apologize. My father's orders. He said, you could have just left. He said, you could have just quit, but you don't tell him to go fuck himself.
I guess, yeah.
He was right.
Yeah, it was. What did
He said,
Mr. Rice
you gotta have
say?
respect for an older man.
And he gave you a job.
Well, what a job. His main, after he closed, there were 4 of us. There was Lenny Kovar, Ray Cohn, Bobby Goldberg, and me, the 4 of us. He would take Lenny Kowarski. Lenny Kowarski out to a restaurant along with Bobby Goldberg. And me and Ray would just say good night and that's it. And he closed the store. So Ray and I used to go to a candy store that was open till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Of course, Rice used to close at 1. He could have taken us all, but he only took 2 of us. I guess he liked those 2.
What'd he say when you apologized?
Huh?
What'd he say when you apologized?
Oh, he accepted the apology. He was a very sharp guy. He was a sharp person, Mr. Rice, and he was a good-looking man. And he had this big, heavy, wife was heavy. He had 2 daughters, 2 lovely daughters. One was sort of on the heavy side, and the other was well stacked. And they were both nice girls. The other was a little older than I was. And Betty, that was, what the hell was her name? Whatever. And Betty was younger. And before I became a regular there on weekends, when I was a freshman, she had a guy named Wilbur Runitsky working for her. And there was a girl that was friendly with Rice's daughter, Shirley Smith. Shirley Smith was a good-looking girl, big tits. And this guy Runitsky was the delivery boy. So every time he had an order to deliver, he would go to Rice's house, blow his horn, and Shirley Smith, who was Betty Rice's friend, would come down and he'd take her along, neck with him with her when he left, and then he'd go back to work. And he was nasty. He was a nasty guy. Oh dear. Thought he was very strong and tough. He got tough with too many guys. He got the hell beat out of him.
Classic.
Oh, that was Mr. Rice.
Do you?
I remember one time there were 2 girls that I knew. They were friends. Levine, well, I forget her first name, and Edie Estow.
The what?
I forget her first name, but
Dirty.
they were cute, both of them. And they came walking in, they sat down, and I walked over, I was going to take the order, and I'm talking to them, and somebody hits me in the ass like this. Turn around, Mrs. Rice, she says to me, Martin, now you wait on tables. Later you make love. And then there was a guy who used to come in with his family. And they had us running. We would still, we never left the tip. So when he came in, we all used to avoid him because there were about 3 of us on the floor. It was a busy store on Saturday. So she grabbed me and she said, take care of Mr. Oh, what the hell was his name? Well, whatever. She had to grab one of us and make us take care of him. None of us wanted to serve him. which was wrong, really. Tip or no tip, he was a customer.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, yeah. So those were my years at Mr. Rice's.
You have any fond childhood memories that come up?
Yeah. I went to Boy Scout camp. And one night we had boxing night. And we go to the mess hall. And that's clear away all we moved the tables to one side. It was a big mess hall. Tremendous. Very rustic. And the assistant cook. Well, I had already been a camper there for about 3 years. And this was the 4th year I was there. And I was about 16 years old. I was 16 because I started at 12. And as a camper, then for 2 years I was a patrol leader. So now I was a patrol leader, and all the patrol leaders were sitting in one area, the slightly older guys, 16-year-olds. And the assistant cook comes out, and he's asking each one of us if they'll box with him. They want to box. So they were all refusing. He gets to me, and I'm ashamed to say no. I said, "Well, you take it easy with me?" He was muscular, and he was about a year older, but he was a very muscular guy. So he says, I said, "Okay." So I get out, and the first thing he does is give me a shot in the face. I saw stars. I got very angry. And I recovered from that. I come back, and I hit him real hard with the left hand. And the guy started to turn around in circles. No. The first time he went down. I hit him real hard and he went down. And I got up and he was groggy, so the chief called one round, first round. Go out for the second round. Now he's a little afraid of me. And I wasn't afraid of him anymore. And I give him a shot with my left hand, and he starts turning around in a circle. And I threw back my hand, and I was going to hit him as hard as I could. And the chief stopped the fight. Wouldn't let me hit him. But at least I got a good shot out of him in the first place. So then I remember going over, this guy used to, after the working hours, used to go across the lake to they had I forget what you call it. It was a store where they served oh God. It was a commercial store, but very rustic. I had a name for it. Just a rustic store.
Yeah.
You could buy things and get ice cream and so on. And then my friend Irving, we were there And we shouldn't have been, because we were supposed to be back in camp sleeping. But we just got up, went across the lake. You could walk around the lake, which we did. And Porky, Irving Kleinfeld, introduces me to his girlfriend, this guy's girlfriend, and says, he beats your boyfriend up. She looks at me, this skinny guy beat up whatever the hell he named. I forgot. Oh, God. She couldn't believe it. So I had a girlfriend for a while.
You impressed her.
Yeah. Oh, dear. What the
That
hell?
easy, huh?
What the hell was... She used to call me Mooga. I remember that.
Why?
Oh, what the hell is his name?
Mooga?
He was about a year older than me. And he was a high school football player. And he worked as a cook. And the other cook was a black man. And before that, there was an assistant cook. No, there was a cook and an assistant cook. One had been a professional boxer, and the other one, the assistant cook, was still a boxer. Luke Happy, and he was very good.
Mm-hmm.
And the other was, oh, what the hell, what is his name? But he became a waiter during his camp season. He was working camp as a cook, and during a year he was a waiter for a kosher caterer.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Schiffinella, nice. He was a nice guy, but you could tell he was a boxer. Nose bashed in. And Luke Happy was a professional boxer too, assistant cook, and he was very good. Tommy Schiffinella and Luke Happy. And Tommy Schiffinella didn't come back. I think I went 4 years in a row. And for 2 years I was a patrol leader. And for 2 years I was a camper. And it's the last 2 years, all those years, the cooks were, for 3 years that I was there, Luke Happy and Tommy Schiffinella. And in the 4th year, they didn't come back, they hired this character I told you I boxed with, and a black man who was a professional cook. Oh dear. Then I went into the army.
Well, do you think you can tell the story when you ran away from home as a kid?
Me?
Yeah.
I ran away from home?
Didn't you run away from home, but your mom?
Oh,
Like,
I know I ran away from my father.
yeah. I like that story.
The Rose, my sister, was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
First of all, she turned out to be a lousy bitch,
Mm-hmm.
but she was a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, she was giving me a hard time, and I was getting angry. and I must have been about 12 years old, 12 or 13, and she walked past me, and I gave her one of those on the leg. So she grabs the leg and starts to cry. So my father came after me for hitting her. And I took off. I ran out of the house. And I sat in the park till almost midnight.
Wow, Dad, that's pretty good. You remind me of Kate, who sat in the woods for 2 hours.
And I in the park. And then I came home. I knew my father would be asleep. And my mother was waiting up for me. And she said, Morty, go to bed, dear. So I did. But he was going to hit me for hitting her. She grabbed the leg and she started to cry.
Did you even hit her that hard?
I gave her a real hard one like that.
Oh, Rose?
Couldn't stand
I would have hit her
her.
harder.
Oh, God. Couldn't stand her.
She was a bitch.
And
She was an evil
She
person.
didn't like any of my children.
No.
And why? Because
They were
of
Thelma's
Thelma.
babies. We were Thelma's offspring.
She had it in for Thelma. Thelma was a nice girl. She never was rude to her. She didn't like her because she married me.
Good. Turmeric in there. Yeah.
It's unfair.
Huh?
It's not right.
No. No. So I never liked her after that.
Oh, she's evil.
Neither do my brothers like her.
Really? She's on her own?
Yeah. And
She had Francis.
and Frida was a nice girl. Frida never bothered us.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory with your father?
Yeah. He was a good man. I used to take him later on. He had had a heart attack. I used to take him for rides. Just driving around.
Right.
Because I had my driver's license. One day, we walked up the steps. He said he had an appointment to have his toenails cut.
Interesting.
So I took him to this guy who cut toenails, and made people more comfortable. I forgot what the name of him is, but that's what he said. He spent his time cutting toenails. And I walked up the steps with him, and he said, we stopped near the top, and he says, Morty, I feel a little tired, let's rest for a moment. I said, okay, Pop. So we rest for a moment, and he says, okay, let's go on. Walked, and the man that was going to do the toenail cutting, takes off his shoes, and all of a sudden my father gives a deep sigh, and he dies in the chair.
Jeez.
So this guy was very upset. I said, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And we all started to cry. I called my brothers, And we had him, the cops came and took him down. We took him to the hospital, but he was dead.
Just like that?
And he was 70 years old.
That's your favorite memory?
For him, yeah. He was a nice man. One memory I have, I was 20 years old, I remember that. And he says to me, Morty, he says, I gotta go on an errand. He says, pass off. Yiddish word for, make sure you don't have any problems. And watch this character, of course he may try to steal something. He'll give you a hard time. And he went. He went out. He was gone for about a half hour or so. Meantime, I took care. I served some whiskey and beer. That's the day I threw that old man out. I didn't throw him out. I walked him out. But of course, he was big. He was a pain in the ass and very rude. And he was yelling, "Old man!" Oh, he says, "Younger man, hit old man, young man," standing outside in front of the store screaming this. I never hit him. I just gave him a wedgie, passed and walked him out. Because I didn't like what he was doing. Oh, dear me.
How about with your mother?
My mom, nice to me all the time.
Any stories?
She was the only real mother I had. The others were only half. They were half present. We all had the same father, but I had a different mother. She passed away.
At what age?
35.
Oh.
No, she was very young.
How
Yeah,
old
she
were
died
you?
of influenza.
The flu?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was about 35. Yeah, she had 4 children. And then she died.
How old were you?
When she died, I was 2
You weren't
years
born
old.
yet.
Oh, wow.
And I was born when she was 4.
You were born when she was what?
When she was 4 years old.
She died when you were 4 years? Or what?
No,
No.
I'm confused.
Grandpa Adolf, his father, was married before
Yeah.
to a woman named Ida.
Uh-huh.
Had all of his siblings. She died at the age of 35.
And she was your mother?
She had
basically?
no relation to us.
Yeah, but she was present for you.
No, she wasn't.
No.
She died,
Yeah.
and then he married Grandma Sophie,
Okay.
his mother.
And then,
And for 4 years later,
okay, so what about Grandma Sophie?
Grandma
my
Sophie
brother
was
was
her
2 years
cousin.
old.
Believe it or not. Tell him that.
Yeah, well, no, she was younger than that. She was 2 years old when he married my mother, and 4 years old when I
She
had this baby.
She actually gave birth to a stillborn Grandpa would have had another natural brother,
Mm-hmm.
but he died in birth.
Yes, the first baby died in birth.
Mm-hmm. So Grandma Sophie,
Yes, Grandma
She
Sophie
she lived
was
a
your
full life.
grandma, great grandma.
And
Yeah.
she lived a full life?
72.
Yeah, okay.
74.
And she was cousins.
She died in 1978. She
Okay.
was 72.
She was cousins with.
I
Cousin?
was 18 when she
No,
died.
she wasn't a cousin. Oh, she was a cousin, yes, to the real mother.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first mother,
But not your mother.
not my mother. But she was related to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave birth to the baby when he was 4 years old. That is, yeah, of course, she was 4 years older than I was.
Who was?
Oh, guess who?
Huh?
Who was 4 years older?
My real mother.
Was 4 years older than.
Hello,
Yeah,
Cookie.
when
How are
she
you,
had
honey?
her,
Yeah. Good.
when she
Yeah,
had her
Zach's
first
home.
baby.
Uh-huh.
He's interviewing
In other words,
Grandpa and video.
My mother
it,
was
just
a
so
half
that's what he's
mother,
always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
or a stepmother, really,
He wants
and a half father,
Mm-hmm.
a full father. I'm sorry.
So that's what he's doing.
So do you have any good memories with Sophie?
Sophie, nothing
stories.
except that she was a good mom.
Mm-hmm.
Making a Trader Joe's banana bread
And
for
yeah,
Zach to take home.
she always was good to me. And she
I
had
know,
another
but I
baby.
didn't like doing that. I didn't
But
even
it
get
was
to clean today.
The baby did good for me.
As long as I'm here enjoying Grandpa and
So,
so how was your
Yeah,
dinner
she
last night?
4 years old when I was born.
You had a gathering of some sort.
Sophie
you
was
said.
4
We were
years
going-
old?
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah.
In other words, she was without a mother for
What
a while.
time? At night? You went to bed at
In other words,
7:30?
she,
Oh my God. So what time did you
that's
sleep
like-
until?
Mom?
I was 4 years
Wow.
old
Mom?
Proud of you. Hold on. What?
when she gave birth to me.
She was 4 years old.
Pardon me. Yeah,
24 years old?
Okay. Oh my God. Debbie, fine. I haven't heard. Hold on. I'm gonna put my earplug in. Hold on.
I'm screwed up. Let me think for a moment.
There it is. Debbie Fine at 10 o'clock
She
at
was
night sent me that
4
picture of
years
you and Michael
my mother
saying, oh, they're
when
so
I
cute.
gave birth to her.
I think she wants to hook you up.
There was?
Yeah.
She was 4 years.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. All right, honey. That's okay. I love you.
My,
Bye-bye.
my brother was 4 years old
Okay. When, yeah.
when I gave birth to
And
her.
when she gave birth to you.
When she gave birth to me.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But she knows, yeah, I was not 4 years old. She was old enough to be my mother.
Yeah.
I think she became my mother when my first brother, half brother, was 4 years old.
Okay. Okay. And who was that? Bernie?
Bernie.
And he was your closest sibling?
And he was was almost, yeah, I was 4 years, he was 4 years old when I was born. But I was younger than that.
You guys were
Of
close.
course, that was my first brother.
Mm-hmm.
That was 4 years old. No, I had a brother that was 4 years old. When he became
When you were born. Yeah.
my brother.
Were you guys close?
Yeah,
Barney?
I was close. But she always knew that he wasn't my real brother.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie was a good guy.
Almost immediately, she became my mother. I guess she became my mother when he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
A stepmother.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And then she had another baby. And she died.
Happens.
I mean, she had a dead baby.
Yeah. That's sad.
Oh yeah. And I had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. The first brother was just a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a half brother. And he was a good guy. And he had, I was PO'd with him one time. My mom said to me, Morty, I want to visit my stepbrothers. I was a man. I was already married and had children. And she went to, I drove to my brother's house. I had no idea that she was giving them a party.
Mm-hmm.
No, a cookout. She had everyone except me and my family. So he says, oh, come on, join the party. I said, forget it. I left them and went out, and that was it. I was pissed off.
Why didn't he invite you?
That's a good idea. That's a good reason. She did not invite me.
Because you're the half brother? You think that?
Yes. She, at that time, my brother was dead. He died before I got married. And that was something I never forgot and I never forgave.
Did you always feel like part of the family?
I felt like part of my family.
Yeah.
And then I did feel my one family is still my very close gang, but very close. You know the people that were close to me were half families, and they were very close to me. Oh my God. Give me just a moment. Oh. Wow. Isn't it something else? My father and all my father families, my three grandmothers, my three mothers were, oh my, what the hell is wrong with me?
It's all right.
Just give me a moment, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Ooh.
It's all right. Just let it come to you.
Well, just give me a moment. I'll take maybe just
Halva.
halva, right?
Let me check this.